Introduction. What is fermentation? Fermentation is the anaerobic catabolism of a single chemical compound, the process of sugars being broken down by enzymes of microorganisms in the absence of oxygen. Microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi have unique sets of metabolic genes, allowing them to produce enzymes to break down distinct types of sugar metabolites. Overview. In this experiment, we are using commercial yeast as cerevisiae on 3 different types of substrates to see which substrate is the most suitable. The most suitable substrate will produce the highest carbon dioxide. The yeast performs fermentation to obtain energy by converting sugar into alcohol. These are the equations that occur during the fermentation process. The glucose is converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. The first objective of the experiment is to determine which substrate are the most efficient for the yeast. Second objective is to demonstrate a simple fermentation process using S. cerevisiae. The materials used in this experiment is 4 plastic zip bags, a yeast, a glucose, a sucrose, starch, and a distilled water. Firstly, we prepare 4 Ziploc bags. Then, we label each Ziploc bag according to the substrate, which are glucose, sucrose, starch, and also for the control. After that, we turn on the electronic balance and put the weighing bowl and set it in auto zero before we start weighing the yeast. By using spatula, we start weighing 2 grams of yeast. Then, put the yeast slowly. We take up the yeast and put it into each Ziploc bag that we prepared earlier. Then, we measure 2 grams of substrate. Here, we are weighing for the glucose. Next, we put each substrate into Ziploc bag sequential to the label. Before mixing with water, we shake the mixture for every Ziploc bag to make sure the mixing goes well. After that, we measure 25 ml of distilled water by using measuring cylinder. Then, pour the distilled water into each Ziploc bag. Upon the mixing, remove the air before closing the Ziploc bag. Then, shake the mixture properly. This is essential as it distributes the mixture uniformly to enhance the growth of yeast. Lastly, let the Ziploc bag still for 2 hours for the fermentation to happen. After 2 hours, we observe each Ziploc bag and measure the height of each plastic bag and record the data. Results: 2 cm for glucose, 0 cm for starch, 0 cm for sucrose, and also 0 cm for control. Discussion: the result shows that glucose has the highest increment high of plastic bag. Thus, glucose produces highest carbon dioxide compared to other substrate. Sucrose is the secondary carbohydrates or called as disaccharide, while starch is polysaccharide. Sucrose is the combination of glucose and fructose. Therefore, yeast need to hydrolyze the substrate into simpler sugar first before undergo metabolic process. In addition, yeast require glucose for their substrate. So, that is why glucose has the higher increment compared to other substrate. The control is used as a point of comparison against which other test results measure. Conclusion: to sum up, the objective of the experiment is successful as it follows the hypothesis of the experiment. From the experiment, glucose has the highest increment of high compared to other substrate. Thus, it produces highest carbon dioxide, resulting in zip bag to expand. Recommendation: use warm water instead of cold water. This is crucial to give the yeast optimal fermentation condition. Second, apply aseptic technique to reduce contamination from surrounding. Doing so could reduce potential error for the results.